Yeah, so this is from a Hungaroring F4 race again, like my previous video. I just wanted to make this video to kind of demonstrate my thought process when I am racing and why, at least for me, who is kind of like an average, maybe a slightly above average racer, how I approach a race, especially when I am competing with somebody who is far better than me. In this race, Steven and I are the highest ranked players. Steven is, I don't know, several elos above me. He's an over 3,000K. 3,000K. He's over 3K elo. And the rest of the guys are somewhere below. I think the guy behind me is like 1,700 or something like that. So it wasn't like a highly competitive race, but Steven was my competition. And so I approached the race thinking of that. Like, I'm basically going to be racing for P2. Unless I see an opportunity, I'm not going to push it too much. And this is not just for this race. This is pretty much how I tend to race, especially on tracks where I have a lot of confidence, like Hungaroring, which is one of my most successful tracks in anything, in ACC or AC, in any car. So far, GT4s, GT3s, M2s, I think I also raced it in, and F4. I've also done some laps in the F2004 and done relatively well in that too. I haven't raced in it yet, but that's my... So anyway, just rambling. So this is basically me just demonstrating the way I'm going to approach this race and to give average racers like myself an idea of how to approach really going after a guy like this and how not to push it too much. And I think that's something that happens to people at my level, is they often think that in order to compete with someone much better, you have to push it all the time. And a lot of really like good racers think this way too. And I think that there are people like George Boothby, who will show you how there's a way to do this. I mean, granted, he's very good, but there's a way to do this without destroying your car to do it, or destroying your, like basically cutting the track every time or anything like that. Which, I mean, Steven just did, but he's also probably sensing that I'm relatively fast compared to him. So maybe looking in his rearview mirror when he did that. And that's the thing you always got to think about, is like, what is my opponent thinking? And not to let yourself stress out too much about it. It's difficult, and in this race, all I'm thinking about is I'm going to hold P2. I know I'm going to hold P2 because the guys behind me are not as fast. As long as I don't make any mistakes. So I'm just trying to drive as mistake-free as possible and waiting for Steven to make a mistake. It takes a while though. Like, he pretty much outdrives me the entire time, but I wait patiently and I don't push it. You'll see that. Now, as you see here, this is several laps later, and a back marker who has lost control is back on the track, and Steven must have slowed down for him, and now I've caught up to him. So I could push it here. I could be like, yeah, I can send it on him, I can do all that, but what is the point? This is my mentality. It's not like me dictating to you how you should drive. I just think to myself, like, why would I do that? I could make a mistake. I could run into him. He could also push it when I push him and wreck both of us. So it's not the outcome I want. I would rather find something easier. When he goes to his right here, most guys would follow him. I have no interest in doing that. I actually want to project to him that I'm not going to do that, so that later, if I decide to do that, it worries him. Because if I keep doing it, he's going to get used to me doing that. Also, there's just the two of us. No one else is really near us. So I don't have to follow him. I don't gain anything from that other than I get closer to him and then I risk running into him. Again, how I think about it. Now several laps have gone by, we're more than halfway through, and now I decide to follow him. Now I want him to start thinking about me being in the slipstream, what I might do. I've been sticking with him this entire time, so he knows that I'm not like slowing down. I'm not making any big mistakes. It's gotta worry him, at least that's what I imagine is happening in his head, that I've now decided to start following his slipstream. I almost couldn't say slipstream. What is wrong with me? So here we are, about 4 laps left in the race, and I've closed the gap a little bit. So I'm real close to him. He knows that I can follow his slipstream. We've been doing this for a while, and then he decides to go to the right again, so this time I follow him. I want him to think I want to pass him. I want to get into his slipstream. I don't really have a plan to try and dive bomb him there or anything like that. I just want him to start thinking about it. I've also noticed throughout the race that he has cut a couple times. So in my head, he is near 3 cuts or he's already gotten 3 cuts. So I'm expecting that at some point he's going to start doing, well, showing that he doesn't want to cut. So when somebody's like has been driving relatively aggressively and then changes to a conservative mindset, it often means that they have 3 cuts or maybe 2 cuts. They don't want a third. So that's what I'm looking for right here. I'm saying to myself like, oh, he's pretty close to like, oh, and that's when this happens. And I thought about pushing it and actually taking a cut, but at this point I am convinced he's on 3 cuts. So no matter what, he's on 3 cuts. So I can just bide my time and pass him when it's safest. And it may seem a little bit egotistical or whatever you want to call it, but at this point I am confident I'm going to pass him. Because we're pretty much on the same pace. So I can't imagine he can hold me off if he has to drive conservatively. I am on no cuts. So if I had to use one, I could. So I know that he is definitely worried about me at this point. And that's when that happens. So I didn't need to do anything. Like he did it to himself because he was worried about what I was doing. And I mean, I got kind of lucky there that he's a good driver and didn't run into me because I had to protect that line or he was going to dive it. So, or at least that's what my thinking was, that he's going to dive on the inside there, and the only way I can protect it is by taking the inside, but basically taking the corner away from him so he can't do it. And then from this point on, there isn't really anything he can do. Again, I'm on no cuts. He is most likely on 3. So I just run away with it after this. I mean, he's right behind me. Like, I don't run away with it. Like, I'm not that good. You know what I'm saying?